Hi guys, this is a review or flip through of Joyful Mending visual repairs for the perfectly imperfect things we love. And I was just really kind of taken with this book. Usually mending to me has always been an invisible kind of thing that we do. To try to make our clothes look as perfect as possible. But I really enjoyed this book, mainly because it's a new kind of idea or concept for me. Mending clothes, but not necessarily to make them perfect again, to make them look brand new again. And here is one example of, looks like a sweater that has come apart at the seam there. And instead of just trying to find some gray embroidery floss and trying to make it look good again, just getting out some red thread, and it doesn't have to look perfect, and it's definitely a different kind of aesthetic than what I usually do when I'm mending things. And I kind of like that idea of kind of showing off your work, showing off that yes, this is an old sweater, and yes, I have mended it, and using different colors of threads, using reds or yellows or blues, kind of creating something brand new with your mending. So that's a really interesting concept, and even getting a little bit creative with your mending. That just really sounds like a neat way to do your mending. Sure, you can do squares, you can do colorful squares, or you can even create little designs of your own. And I just love that idea. And I love all of the examples in this book. The examples are really great, really, to give you an idea of what it means to mend imperfectly. And they don't necessarily have to make sense, they don't have to be just, perfectly square squares. They can be whatever you choose for them to be. And what I also love about this book is it's not just for the more experienced sewers. It really is for anybody, whether you have experience with sewing and mending or not. And this is how to mend a sock. And I love how this author really just lays out exactly the materials that you would need. And if you're new to mending and darning in general, you may not know about darning mushrooms. So I love how they just laid out all of the tools there, and the pictures and the step-by-step instructions are really just so great. And more photos, and I love how it's just not ideas and illustrations of final products. I love how it's also a step-by-step guide. And she also does include some invisible mending as well. There will be times when you want something to be invisible, and I love how she can kind of switch gears and and show you exactly how that could be done as well. And the creativity for the mending is really, really awesome. I think this book is just gonna light people's imaginations on fire and kind of open you up to the possibilities of different kinds of mending options that you have. And it doesn't have to be an invisible kind of mending. It can be creative, and it can be whatever you want it to be. I really love this concept. And some of these mending, I would never even have thought of doing a unique design on the bottom of a skirt. So that's really a neat thing to see. Just tons and tons of different ideas for mending. And you can even create little designs like cats. That's kind of a fun thing to see. I think your options for creativity are just endless. And this book was actually published a couple of years ago. So if you're a frugal person like me, be sure and look for a used copy. As of this morning, I saw a few copies for $6 and $10 on Amazon. So definitely check out some used book options. And let me just flip through to the back, because the back actually has very detailed instructions if you are a beginning sewer. If you're new to concepts like the back stitch or the running stitch, the back of this book is going to be really helpful for you. And just, teaching us a little bit of terminology, and some really easy to follow diagrams. So that is the back of the book, which I wish that she would mention it in the very beginning of the book. If you're a beginner, be sure and flip through to the end, just for the illustrations. I think that would be really helpful. But there it is in the back, and this has been a flip through of Joyful Mending, visible repairs for the perfectly imperfect things we love. And I highly recommend it. I think it's very helpful if you're a frugal person and mending is something that you're already doing. I think this is going to give you so many ideas for stretching your wardrobe just a little bit further.